Hi everyone, I'm Natalie Green. I'm 42 years old and I'm a mom to two beautiful daughters, 5 and 3 years old. So, my first child, I had a great pregnancy. However, towards the end of my pregnancy, my blood pressure started to be elevated. And I think I was about 36 weeks along. So, towards the end, I had been monitoring my blood pressure at home, and my OBGYN had given me some thresholds and said if it had went above that to please call her line in the after hours line if it was on the weekends. So I had reached one of those thresholds and I physically wasn't feeling very well at all. So I immediately called the after hours line, and my doctor recommended that I go to the hospital and go straight to labor and delivery. She said she would let them know I was coming to at least just begin to monitor me in that environment. So we packed up, we brought everything just in case the baby was coming that day, and we went to the hospital. And like she said, they were waiting for me at labor and delivery. We checked in and they got me all hooked up. And it was in no time at all, this very friendly doctor came to visit. And I thought it was probably just like I don't know, just a doctor, but she introduced herself as the OB hospitalist, and her name was Dr. Littles. And my first question, as I was probably, I think, feeling a little anxious about what was going on, I was just trying to understand who she was because she knew a lot about me and she said she was an OB, but I had never heard what a hospitalist. I never heard that term before. So she explained her role, and I have to say, I remember my husband and I looking at each other and saying, "This is awesome. You're here all the time, just in case something like this happens." And she said, "Yeah, and this is my job, and I'm in contact with your doctor. She's given me a debrief, and we're going to see what's going on here and make sure you and your baby remain safe." So, yeah, so that was my first time meeting Dr. Littles, and she was just so professional, on top of things. She checked on me a ton. And what ended up happening that day was we got my blood pressure a little bit more under control, and I was safe to go home because ultimately the goal was to make it to 37 or 38 weeks if we could, given the situation. And what turned out was a week later, I went in for another checkup and the baby was breech. And so my OB decided, okay, you know what? We're having this baby today. We'll send you over to labor and delivery. I'll see about getting you a slot, but don't worry, they'll take care of you. So I ended up not getting a C-section slot until 5:30, so it was the end of the day. However, my doctor was going to come, but lo and behold, when I went and checked in, Dr. Littles was there again. So she ended up assisting on my delivery. I assume because it was a breech baby, they wanted to make sure that there was lots of hands to help. And yeah, our beautiful baby girl was born not long after that appointment into the hands of Dr. Mitchell, mine, and Dr. Littles, the OB hospitalist. A couple of years later, we were blessed with another pregnancy, and the same thing happened. I had elevated blood pressure towards the end, and we were really watching things. Luckily, I made it to 38 weeks on that pregnancy and checked in at labor and delivery. That delivery ended up being a surprise, another breech baby. However, she was in the right position before, and then something changed in that time. But luckily enough, Dr. Littles was there again. She remembered us, and it was the same crew. And obviously, she partnered with my OBGYN. So once again, we had the capable and caring hands of our OB hospitalist for our second baby, who was delivered safely and healthy. And I felt nothing but like safe and cared for the entire time. What stood out the most was the dedicated professional commitment that we immediately felt from our OB hospitalist. Like Dr. Littles appeared so quickly. She already knew a little bit about me, but wanted to hear from me how I was feeling and what was going on. She did all the checks and everything that she needed to do. And I just couldn't get over that this was a dedicated OB that was just at the hospital to take care of me as soon as I arrived. So all the stress that I had on the drive in, which was, when will my doctor get there? And what if I deliver tonight and it's not my doctor? Like the idea that we could have gone 38 weeks with one professional taking care of me and then someone else brand new, that was very stressful, but that all disappeared when I met Dr. Littles. And just especially since we were dealing with my blood pressure, and then a week later ended up delivering and she was there as well, it just was a familiar face. And I felt so reassured and safe that this person, their purpose was just to be at the hospital and bring this specialized care to me during such a fragile and important time. It erased so much other fear about, like, when was my doctor going to arrive, and so much of this is strange, and what's happening, just what's happening right now. And the fact that role and that particular person was there for me, it just was the value is uncalculable. It really, it made our experience just so much better. And we felt encouraged and empowered that we were going to do this. And I say we, like me and my baby and my spouse, but together we just felt like we were going to be able to do this and be okay with her support.